ahead and get started. I can see we've got some folks joining us, which is super exciting. It looks like we've got Whitney Jude and Dr. Gillette Gressel. So thank you all. And it looks like Emily Bosley is joining us. So, and we've got a couple people here in the room with us here today. Okay. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get started here. If you all have any questions, please feel free to put them in the Whova app chat, and we will make sure that we monitor that and we can answer to our folks that are joining us here remotely. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. Today's agenda, just for everybody who's watching at home and curious about what we're going to do here today, we're going to do some welcome and introductions. And so I'll have our virtual folks just share things in the chat for us to get to know. And then the folks here that are in the actual room will get to know each other a little bit better. We'll have a quick community builder. We're going to do an overview of the National Center for Families Learning. We're going to talk about Dr. Mapp's dual capacity building framework. And then the majority of our time today is actually going to be with the Fayette County Public School System crew. They're going to talk to us about their programming and family literacy. We'll have some time for questions and a wrap up, and that should take us through right to the end of our time here together today. So we're going to do some quick introductions. So we'll start here in the room, and then for those of you that are joining remotely, if you want to put just a little bit about yourselves in the chat so that way we can see who's joining us here. We would love to just see a little bit about your background and know who's in here. But my name is Allison Miller. I'm the Associate Director of Kentucky Work here at the National Center for Families Learning. I have an early childhood background and elementary education background, but really fell in love with educational leadership a couple years back and went back and got my doctorate from Spalding University in Louisville, Kentucky. And I have really enjoyed working with families and especially parenting adults to just change the trajectory of their family over time through things like family literacy and family engagement. And now I'm going to turn it over to Carolina Brock.
Good afternoon. My name is Carolina Brock. I'm a District Family and Community Liaison at Fayette County Public Schools. I'm originally from Peru, and when I came to United States, I learned, of course, I tried to start learning English, but also learn how is the education system. And my degree actually is as I'm accounting in Peru, but when I come to United States, I basically start my career in education. So I start as an interpreter first at one of the schools at Fayette County Public Schools, and then I go up as a family resource coordinator in one of those schools, and that is where I saw many needs, especially family literacy that we will talk later. And this is my second year as a District Family and Community Engagement Liaison at Fayette County Public Schools. And here is Edith.
Hi, how are you? I don't know if you can see me, but I'm so happy, as you can see, so happy to be here with all of you. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm from Costa Rica, original, Central America. I came to the United States around 30 years ago. So when I came here, I came with 2 children, and my 3rd child was born in the United States. I live in Lexington, Kentucky. I started being as a volunteer. That's why volunteers, I adore volunteers in the schools because they are so important in our learning community. So I started as a volunteer when my children started to go to school. So one of the principals came to preschool and he was like, Edith, you have this gift. I think you can be a teacher. How about a certification? And I said, well, I don't know about that. I'm so busy. He said, go for it and I will give you a job. So I say, okay, it might take me a while, but I'm going to give it a try. And so I'm very persistent in what I do. So, and I have a passion for education. I love being a teacher and I love helping families and students in my classroom. I came to be a family and community liaison 4 years ago, and I'm in one of the elementary schools in Fayette County, and I love it. I love it. We have the largest Latino Hispanic population in our school, and I love being there and and being able to close that gap between the household and the school. And so my primary language is Spanish, like Carolina does too, and I speak also English and a little bit of French. I'm able to understand, but not very fluent. So that is about me, and I'm very excited to be here, and I can't wait to continue.
And then we've got one person joining us here in the room today in person. Do you mind like giving just a brief background? I put in the chat just who you are, where you're from, and like what your role is. Okay.
My role is I serve as the coordinator for adult education,
Okay.
for adult education program in Lexington, Richland 5, which is a school district. And so part of that is trying to support family literacy. This is my first year in this particular role, and I didn't realize how much I didn't know about family literacy until I was tasked with writing our grant.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh no, I need to learn a lot more. So.
Okay. That's awesome. And then we have some folks in the chat that shared. I just want to go through, but we've got Whitney, who's here from the Kentucky Adult Education work in Louisville, Kentucky, which is where I'm from. She's the Family Literacy Senior Coordinator, so she's joining us. And then it looks like we've got Dr. Gillette Gressel, who is the Adult Beginners ELL Educator in Delaware. So what we're going to do now, and folks that are with us virtually, I'm about to put your questions in the chat as well, is we're going to do an activity that we call Share, Trade. I'm going to try and move this really quickly, so that way if it's recording, it's not going to be covering everything up. Won't be perfect, but there we go. But this is called Share, Trade. What you're going to do is we're going to pair up here in just a minute, and it's perfect because we've got a couple folks in here. You're going to read the question either in the chat or on your card. And then we're just going to take turns answering it and getting to know a little bit more about each other. I really like this activity because it can be used for a variety of different settings, and especially your adult learners. You can tailor the questions to be whatever it is that you're wanting your program topics to be for the night. So if you have some adult learners in that are doing a program maybe around like literacy or like early literacy with their children, you can ask questions about like memories that they might have hearing stories growing up, reading, that kind of thing. If you have like a really specific program that your adult learners are coming in and maybe they're learning about like food and nutrition for the evening, you can ask questions about different meals that they like to share together, that kind of thing. And so I'm going to put 2 questions in the chat. If you feel willing and want to share your answers, please go ahead and do that, and we'll read them out loud here in just a minute. And then to everybody else in the room, I am going to pass out the cards, and we'll take turns answering them, sharing our answers, and then swapping cards and finding a new partner. Okay, all right.
Sorry, of the population is Hispanic. We have other backgrounds, Philly, French, and so, but we have all kind of backgrounds in our school, but primarily, the programs that we develop after school is thinking about bringing the families together and, having them to feel happy when they come to the school and be able to have a voice. And so that's what we do. But we don't have only this program. We have more than one program after school. Like we have Muffins with Moms. Okay. We have My Best Guy, which is our really program for parents and dads and so forth. So hopefully next year we'll have more programs for other backgrounds and other families. Yeah, but it's the majority are from Spanish-speaking countries. Oh yes, and every week. And every week we receive newcomers, and our principal is like, no, no space, but we have to receive them. Yes, so I think they are going to do. They're thinking to do like, how you said when they put like a little bit. It's not. It's like a room, a classroom, but outside of the building. Yeah, like a trailer. So they were thinking maybe to have like 3 trailers because the school population is every week is more and more, and we don't have the, the space for that.
They did the start programming on modular spaces, just like that. There were 2 trailers, and that's what the community had room for, and that's what we were able to teach out of, and it worked well.
Yes, and she was telling me that she's going to hire more teachers. Because the rooms are crowded.
Mine is as a child ready to go in your community, like where do you like to go? And I remember the library is probably like my favorite and earliest memories, just going to the library, checking out books, literature, story time, or just playing. I remember going there and seeing all of those and just, knowing that that was a fun place for us to go as a family. There was also a community pool that we would go to, and like I remember getting some lessons there and like that kind of thing, and like all of our neighbors that head up there as well. So like those were the 2 areas.
It's so important to have that, connection when you are that young. Like our library, like our media specialist created like a little corner in the library, and she has a display of all bilingual books for our kids to come there, and they have little chairs so they can sit and read. Yes, but it's so important to have that first, experience in the library when you're young. We appreciate to,
We wanted it to be a safe place for you to be able to like information.
yes, it's very important.
Okay. Yes. Now we can go back there and go share questions with them. Yeah, you switch your questions. Oh, either one. There you go. Get some new ones. We had like a lot of questions we could cycle through, so. Hello. Are you looking for us?
Just checking everything's okay.
Yeah, so far so good. We've got a couple people online. We seem to be doing well. Yay. Okay, what's your question? Which one do you want to do?
About 5 years, 6 years, but every week you like we're able to have students have more space. You enter in a classroom to see the other and so yes, and so she hire a lot of parents to have the presentation all the way up to the garden to
Go to church together.
right.
We have like a dinner, or like we'll go to midnight mass at Christmas time,
You don't have
like that
more
kind of
space,
thing.
but she's
So
looking to
I come in together either around religion or family,
rent
like
or
it's just
ask the
that's like on my
organization
husband's
to,
side of the family.
borrow or
What songs are you
yeah,
dancing
so
to
they
or
can
call
be
for?
trained all the time. They more classes for next year.
Yeah.
So proud. It's fun here. Especially when you go to the cafeteria, it's like so small. Yeah. But anyway, yes, the population, the biggest population is Latino. That was then we have, of course, from countries that in which they typically low in French. So, yeah, this is our biggest population. So, and unfortunately, not many teachers are people, and unfortunately, we don't have people that are certified. Because instead of you're the only one, unless you're a partner. But
Mine's nursery rhymes. Like I remember like the spider,
one or
you are my
more
sunshine, like
for
little Miss Muffet. I don't know
parents
if
that is
super songs,
real.
but yeah, just like little rhyming.
And more Spanish. So Spanish teacher goes
Yeah.
wish us good luck. So have a colors or start teaching colors.
Okay.
It's Spanish teacher does that for teaching. And what part of you said South Carolina? Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, we're in like the middle part of the state.
Seven pictures too.
South Carolina is beautiful.
Yes, come visit anytime.
Thank you.
And then here in the chat, Whitney shared that they took group field trips when she did her early readiness programming at the YMCA. They did things like park days, swimming, And she did note that Kentucky serves a variety of people, but they're seeing a lot of immigration and refugee populations that are wanting to participate more in family literacy. So this is great that you're here with us today, because this is the whole point of today, is just looking at how Fayette County Public Schools is serving their immigration populations as well. And then Dr. Gillette said that they all serve a mixture of people from all over the world. The Arabic families just completed the Ramadan Cinco de Mayo Independence Day. So that's pretty cool. Yay. So hopefully you all enjoyed that, even virtually. Like I said, this is just a fun way to get people thinking through things about their own lives and just to connect in a little bit more deeper way than just the traditional icebreaker about your favorite candy bar or your favorite color and that kind of thing. I'm going to go through just a quick overview about the National Center for Families Learning. And so, yes, so NCFL, our mission is pretty simple. We are working to eradicate poverty through education solutions for families. For us, that means looking at poverty through a lot of different lenses. It's not just socioeconomic status. It can be a lack of actual resources that you might have. We know a lot of populations are also poor when it comes to things like health access and health education, things that those families might need. We know housing is a big concern and need for a lot of our families, and things like digital literacy and access to education. And so we are really trying to come and work alongside communities throughout the country. We have a vision right now, and that is by 2030 that we will be in 60 different communities with a coordinated and aligned family learning system. And it's going to be built with and for families to increase their education and economic outcomes and create more equitable communities. And really what that means is we've had this wonderful national reach since we began in 1989. We're headquartered in Louisville, Kentucky with a national staff, and we have been in 150 plus communities to date, but some of those we go really deeply, and there's a lot of like comprehensive coverage from family literacy, family engagement to family leadership, and others it might just be a contract that ranges, for a series of months while we're, working to support a specific goal. And so our 60 by 30 mission is just to bring integrated communities like to the forefront so that they can learn from each other and we can support them. We have been in 39 states to date, and we have up until this point served over 4.5 million people, which is kind of exciting. And this is just our theory of action. I'm not going to go through too much of it here today, but we do like to include it just for folks that are curious. But ultimately, what we are trying to do is to create these collaborative community models through strategic connections, and then implement high-impact multi-generational education programs that we're tracking and really capturing through family stories. So we do a lot of quantitative data collection, but we also do qualitative data collection because we're trying to elevate parent and family voice and see how we can tell that story. And ultimately, when we do all of those things, we're able to spread and scale our policies and our practices and programs for families within that learning system. And this is what a family learning system looks like for NCFL. Lexington, Kentucky was one of our very first family learning systems, so we're excited to have Fayette County serving and working alongside with us here today for this presentation. But what that means is that they are offering 3 pillars of work that NCFL believes is just vital to changing the trajectory of a community. They're offering family literacy programming, which you're going to hear about here today. It ranges from birth to adulthood, and it works on building literacy, technology, and workforce skills for parenting adults. And it's also ensuring that there's healthy development and improvement of literacy and learning outcomes for children. Lexington also does some wonderful family engagement work. And a lot of what Carolina and Edith does is like very deep family engagement as well. They are looking at families as partners and co-creators and problem solvers, but they're also building their own capacity of their school to be able to work with those kinds of families. And then family leadership is something that a lot of communities are just now starting to see, I think, the benefit in. And with that, leadership is when adults are seeing themselves as change makers. They are really looking at job skills and increasing of their own social capital to be able to be a voice and affect change in their own community. And so like in Kentucky, we have the SIPL program with Pritchard, which is a parent leadership cohort model where they come together and they just identify different things from truancy to increased attendance, like that kind of thing that they want to focus on and work on as adults. And then within that, there's also a capacity building of the schools and the communities within those government agencies and businesses to work alongside families. And so just so you can see, like up until this point, 1989 until about 2022, we had a lot of wonderful work. Some of it was, a little bit darker, a little bit deeper. Some of it was lighter and maybe not as deep. But what we're really working to do now is to begin these integrated partnerships and have them start to grow so that folks can network, so that a city that's similar to Lexington can talk to a Lexington city, a city that's similar to maybe a more rural or a smaller school community can find one that matches with them, and they can start to share resources. And even if they demographically don't look like each other, there's also a lot to be gained when we're collaboratively working together through this family learning network and sharing things that we see, sharing practice wins and that kind of thing. And so really quickly, and I realize, this Zoom is just going to do this all the time, but we're going to go to the dual capacity building framework piece, and then I'm going to turn it over to Carolina and Adit. But our family engagement at NCFL is based on this wonderful framework by Dr. Karen Mapp. She is up at Harvard University, and I believe, Carolina, you got to meet her. Did you get to go up too? Not yet. We're gonna cross our fingers that you'll get to go one summer. But Fayette County actually sent a number of their staff up to do the workshop with Dr. Mapp a few years ago. And so the dual capacity building framework looks at two things. It realizes that historically, educators and families have had this gap, and you can kind of see it up there on the screen that you're seeing. And educators might think that families can't work with them, and families might think that educators aren't able to work with them for whatever reason, and then that leads to some really not great outcomes over time. And so what Dr. Mapp is proposing is that we really work at building the capacity of local schools and their communities to meet families where they are and to provide them support and to see them as co-creators of a solution for the problems, and empowering families to be able to work alongside educators and community partners to elevate their own families' needs. And so what we see over time is, and this is like tiny writing, I'm gonna go over here so I can see, you can see that it has to be relational, it has to be built on this mutual trust. There has to be a mindset shift of thinking through things as asset-based. Instead of being, problem-centered is important, but we don't want to be deficit-based. And it has to be collaborative and interactive. There's a lot of shared power that goes along with this process that also has to happen in order for this to succeed. And then we want this to be systemic, so it's embraced across leadership, across families, across schools. Everybody is bought in, and it's really starting to become embedded and just integrated within programming. And then over time, with that policy and program goals piece, we're able to see that there is a building and an enhanced capacity of the 4 C's of areas. So we've got capabilities, so we're building the capacity of the skills and the knowledge of both our school and our families. There's the connection, so we're networking families with school leadership and leadership with families. And then we're looking at the cognition piece, so we're shifting our mindset. Families are seeing schools as partners, schools are seeing families as equals and as their child's most influential teacher. And then we have the confidence piece, so that's self-efficacy. That's the biggest thing that we see in programming like FCPS. Parents come in and they might not see themselves as their child's first and most influential teacher, and then over time that mindset shift happens, and families are really starting to see that they have the power and that they can change their own child's trajectory. And then over time, educators are empowered to connect with family engagement and learning development. They're able to engage families as co-creators, they're honoring that family's funds of knowledge, and they're creating a welcoming culture, while families are seen as co-creators, supporters, monitors, advocates, models, and encouragers. And we know that when all of that can happen and we really start collaborating and building our capacity, that we start to see those effective partnerships that can move the dial in terms of attendance, it can move the dial in terms of student outcomes and adult education outcomes. And so now I am going to stop talking because this show is about Fayette County Public Schools. I'm going to monitor the chat, so those of you that are joining us virtually, feel free to shout out any questions and we'll make sure they get answered. But here is Carolina.
Thank you, Alison. Good afternoon again. My name is Carolina Brock. I'm a district family and community liaison for Fayette County Public Schools. And in this picture, we went to Harvard for a week to study the dual capacity framework with Dr. Mapp. So Dr. Mapp is in the picture with us. And we all the district liaison plus special education teachers, Title I teachers, staff from Unity and Belonging, staff for multilingual department. So everybody went for a week to study about family engagement with Dr. Mapp and the dual capacity framework. Also, we collaborate with NCFL in different workshops. So in the top, you will see different community partners, and NCFL help us with the workshop about family learning community with Fayette County. So the dual framework is not only families, we work with community partners, so and staff and the school. No, in the second pictures, we as a team also we have a program, a cohort about family engagement, and we have this each semester, and we invite administrator, teachers to talk about how to engage their family in their school. So this is a good cohort for our district. So also we have with NCFL workshops, we learn about pack time, family engagement, and other workshops that we work with NCFL. So just to have a story of Fayette County Public School, into 2023, we have 3 district liaisons for the whole district. Now we are around 12. And myself, each district liaison have several schools, elementary, high school, and we have also multilingual district liaisons. My schools are 7 schools, and all those schools, the predominant population are Hispanic population. So I see the need of family engagement from our different communities. And also at the cultural response, there are many teachers that don't know how to connect with those populations. So we start thinking about programming at the district level, and that is what next we're gonna talk about. So just to talk about each school, Title I school we try to embed family engagement through their phase action plan. So this phase action plan talk about if there is a clear two-way communication, meaning like if the teachers call the families, if their documents are translated. So it's something for Title I that has to be mandatory, Title I schools. Also, we talk about open spaces. They should be open spaces in their family nights where family could have that interaction with the staff. So that's part of the family engagement. And we also have a staff learning that they have to learn more about cultural responsive or family engagement topics. So this is one way that we are trying to embed family engagement through different schools. So we start with FAMU. FAMU is one of our big programs as a district, as family university, and we have many workshops. It's once a week. We talk, and this is for the whole district, not only for a certain community. It's for the whole families, the whole districts. They are invited to FAMU. We have college awareness. We have literacy programs. We have financial literacy and many other topics that the family needs. As I was looking into the Hispanic community, so we start this program, Abriendo Puertas a la Educación, meaning open the doors to education. And this program will include programs like Family Stories, that this is one of the programs that we have in different parts of the district. We have college awareness, and I will talk a little more about this program. But before, I wanted to show you, this is a video of promoting our first family stories in Fayette County Public Schools. Video in our social media at the district. And let's see. I want to. I'm sorry. Okay. So we start with different, we have 3 family connection centers. One of them is located in a church, and we have this Family Connection Center North. There is where we do Family University and Latino literacy programs, like the one that we just saw. So in this center, we have the Cuentos Familiares, or family stories, and how we help the families first with bilingual books. I have some here if you want to see. We teach the families how to connect with their student through those books. Those books share traditions, those books share experience. So they not only will have a time together sharing about the book, if not about themselves, and have that connection. Now, and we gave them tips to how to connect with the school. We teach them to navigate through the school system, because for our community or Hispanic community and other cultures, they don't know about the education system. So we use this space also to help them to navigate the education system. For example, if you're in a conference, normally our families ask about behavior. And how is my kid? But we tell them, no, try to ask them about what is their reading level, what they need for them to help them. Is there any tools that they need for help them in reading, in math? So we gave them tips to them to go to the schools and ask more questions that their kids will need to for their academics, no? And we, in the end, it's 6 weeks of literacy programs, while the families are in one room reading and learning about how to help them read to the kids. We tell them, ask questions about the books. This is a different kind of, and in detail, Edith will talk about it. After the 6-week program, we provide a certificate and we do a big party with them. The kids are doing other activities with community partners. So we ask community partners to come and help us with students' activities. So this is some pictures of, this is on fall. We have another group of families that came, and we start getting shirts, talking about open the door to education, because this is a way to open the doors to not only the students' education, if not the families. Families also, this is a path for their education. So this is, we have around 15 families graduate for the program that we have in fall. And this is a little data from that group. And 9 out of 12 students that participate in this program demonstrate growth on the Mapp reading fall test from 23-24 to 24-25. So you could see the impact in their reading, and this data demonstrate that. So that's very important, Cuentos Familiares. We also do for the Latino community college awareness. Again, college in our countries is totally different for our communities. And just to navigate all that is different. So there is a program, Lectura Book is the books that we use. They also have a program about college awareness, and this is called Graciela Dreams. It's about, we read the story of Graciela. It's a Hispanic girl that wants to go to college, but their parents were afraid to go to that step. That was saying, and in the book, that is like, no, I prefer you to go work because it's gonna be expensive. So Graciela started going through, no, but there is in the school, college, career coach. So we talk in, it's also 6 weeks of this college awareness. And after we read the book and we have a conversation with the parents with questions, we invite a career coach from a school. This, for example, this was a lady, a career coach, that she went through all the path. Actually, she graduated, was one of the first in her family that was graduate in college, and now she's a career coach in one college. So then also we invite, and everything was in their language, so they could understand this, this program better. We invite the University of Kentucky to explain them how are the grants and scholarship work for them. And we have also partners that also help us with different activities with the kids. After these 6-week programs, we also provide certifications. But the need of this program, after we have these 6-week programs, and you could see some pictures of the whole families. We have like 20 families participating in college awareness program. In summer, we took the whole family to college just to experiment and see how is college. This is a BCTC college, and the people in BCTC are bilingual, so they met with them. They explained about the opportunities, not only for the students, if not for the parents. So they encourage the parents also to start learning English because they have the ESL classes, and then there is path for them to go to college. So they met with different administrators of the college, and that was the way that we teach them. And let me know the time, it's okay? I'm good? Oh, okay, great. Okay, so abriendo puertas a la educación, we get with NCFL also to how to promote these events through this website. So with NCFL, if you have your phone, you could go and check this website. So in this website, families could check events for around the district. We post there all the events around the district about Family University, college awareness, and other events that it's important for the families. We also use this system to send messages to the whole group, and they answer back and forth. It's a good way to communicate with the families. They could also upload some pictures when they are reading, because they are learning to read with us, but at home they do the pack time, that is parent and child, and they share those pictures also in this website while they are reading with their kids. This is another promo video. So we are starting one section of the city, and we see the need of the other section of the city that need this programming. So we use the public library. I went to talk with the manager of one of the public library where the Hispanic community was a big percentage. So he said, yes, come over, we give you a space, and we start the family literacy program. This is a promo video. To use This was to promote the family literacy, our Marksbury Public Library. And again, I have to go down. So this is the pictures of our family literacy program at Marksbury Family Branch. You could see that with, we have around 15 families also that came, and they stayed the 6 weeks. We have also partners, Living Arts Science Center, CHI St. Joseph, that help us with activity with our kids, while families were learning the literacy program and English classes. There is a picture with the teacher, the ESL teacher. Part of the program is we do an activity, it's our family album. So I will show you what they do. This is kind of their homework to do with their kids after they read. They could have a family album when they could show their family. The one is the family tree. This was cute because it says Isaac and my mom. This was the mom and Isaac coming all the 6 weeks for this Latino program. So they have this album presented, and this was our graduation of all the group for Marksbury. So I will pass to Edith. She will go in deep about the school model of family literacy program.
Okay, very good. Hi again. How is everybody doing? I'm very excited to be here. And yes, so I came to this beautiful school. It is called Coventry Oak Elementary in Lexington, Kentucky. I was transferred from my classroom being as a Spanish teacher to the elementary school. And when the principal came to talk to us, to the Family Resource Center and myself, she said, we have to be innovative and be thinking about programs that will benefit families and the students. And then she said something about like reading was very important to emphasize and do something about, so the scores will be a little bit better in reading. So the FRC, the Family Resource Center coordinator and myself, we got together one afternoon and we say, let's see what we can do. And then she mentioned about a program that was someplace in the building, but nobody has established and even opened the boxes. So I say, well, let's do this homework. And so we go there and we started to open the boxes, and there were a lot of books that were completely bilingual. And then after that, we decided to send an invitation, a survey to all the families that spoke Spanish. So the population, the school population is primarily Latino and Spanish. In our school, there is 40%, 48% of the Latino population. And then we have 3%, which is Swahili, Creole, and French. It's 1%. So when we send the survey to the families, and in this survey, we asked about, would you be interested in doing an after-school program that is addressed specifically to reading with your child? Would you be willing to participate? And we got a very positive feedback from the families saying, yes, I would like to participate. So based on that survey, we decided to create a tentative schedule to offer this to the parents and the family and the students. And so they will have this quality time to share and learn together. Some of the parents asked us if we were going to offer snacks or drinks, or if they could bring something to share and eat together. And we say yes, of course. So the Family Resource Center coordinator bought some drinks for the families and snacks so they can, have some food in the middle of the session. And they were allowed to bring their own food so they can share with other parents and families that came to the sessions. So based on the response that we received, we started to we invited the ELL teachers, one of them, to come and help us with the creation of the program. Because there is a part of the program that is addressed toward comprehension and learning more vocabulary and learning grammar as well. So when we decided to do this, we created a schedule. And the schedule is, like Carolina said, it runs from week 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. So 6 weeks, and then on our 6th week, they graduate from the program. How do we do the program? We usually give them an opportunity to the parents to present their scholars and say why they are proud of their scholars, and that's a very unique moment for them, to present and talk about their kids, why they are, so proud about them, and so forth. So we, based on the needs that the families have in our school, and knowing that they wanted to participate in the reading program, we created a schedule, as I said, for 6 weeks. And in each session, we invited one of the EL teachers to come and help us with the grammar structure at the end of the session. This is the Latino literacy program, but we call it Programa de Alfabetización. That's how we call it in our school. So based on that, this is the schedule that we created. We have a platform called Dojo. I don't know if you're familiar with Dojo. Yes, I see some nodding. That's wonderful. So that's how we advertise the program after school. Usually from 4:30 to 5:30, it's about an hour. Because we know how busy parents are, and the families have other activities after school. So we use the library of the school to do this program, and we have somebody in the front office, so this person can open the door and the parents can come in and go straight to the library, and they see it. We give them a folder. The folder has the book. It has the itinerary or the schedule, but it has also some opportunities for them, like a paper where they can give us more information or ideas how to improve the program as well, or what things they want to see. So as you can see here, this is the schedule, but also we send individual invitations to each family, and we say, yes, you would like to participate, or no, you don't want to participate because. And then the name of the student, the name of the parent, and a phone number. So we can call them later, because we do this 2 times a year. We do it at the beginning of the school year, which is the fall, during the fall, and then we continue the second session in the springtime. And so we do it twice a year, and this is how we promote it. So as I said, everything is presented in a PowerPoint, but we also have them, we give them documents or handouts that they can use. Every week we teach a new strategy in reading. We start with prediction, which is one of the most powerful ways to start learning a book, and we give them ideas on how they can use the prediction strategy. We also have them to draw their favorite part of the book. So when we start reading in Spanish, and then the EL teacher reads the English section. As you can see, the books are completely bilingual in Spanish and English. I don't know, maybe you share, right, some of the books with them. So, and then at the end of the session, we give them 10 minutes for the grammar practice, which is usually verbs and more vocabulary. So what do children do? They come, they sit down with their mom or dad, and sometimes they come together with mom and dad. And we introduce the reading strategy for that week. And we check for the new vocabulary that they're going to learn on that, based on the reading that they're doing that week. And we talk about the meaning, what is the title, how to discuss the pictures that they see on the cover of the book. We talk about the author, the illustrator. We talk about what do they see. Ask your children, what do they see in the cover, in the front cover of the book, and they can discuss, have a short discussion about what do they see in these pictures? What do this mean to them? What is the story going to be about? And things like that. So we read aloud with the parents in Spanish, and then the ELL teacher reads in English. And sometimes most of the times the EL teacher stops and she asks questions like, let's look for a hard word that were difficult for you to pronounce. And she talks a little bit more about that. And she explained, for example, what words are compound words, and, basically, addressing how to look for difficult words in the story and what do they mean. So we also do, as you can see, they're sharing some food in here. Sometimes parents bring food to share with other parents, or we offer usually water and chips and salsa. That's what the Family Resource Center always buy, because it's important, to have food. Hispanics love to eat. Who doesn't, right? Everybody loves to eat. So if you have food, they will come, and they will bring also their own. So that's what we do. At the end of the session, we always do crosswords or puzzles. We do the vocabulary section as well. We provide a handout with the vocabulary. And something that I forgot to mention is that this set of books comes with the teacher's edition. Like for at the beginning of the school year, we have the teacher's edition, and you can follow the curriculum based on the teacher's edition. So it's not hard, it's not difficult. The only thing you had to do is just create a PowerPoint to present it in a more formal structure. And it's amazing because all the guidelines come in there, and you just open the teacher's edition. It's a binder, and you can make the copies. You just go to the library and make the copies. Sometimes we just adjust some of the handouts based on what if there is any specific need that the child has, or maybe the family needs a little bit of translation for the strategies. We always check, we model to the parents how to do questions on comprehension, because that's the most difficult skill for families. They don't know how to do that. So we provide a space for them to ask questions about what is this about? Were you able to understand what is the story, and so forth. So we add 10 more minutes for that, and that we go around the tables and we ask if they have any questions or anything that they want to ask It's a moment also, to have a voice, because families sometimes they have it's difficult for Latino parents to come to the school and feel like they have a voice. So this is a moment in which we empower them, and we ask them, don't feel, intimidated to ask us any questions. All the questions are important for us. So how do we promote? I think I already mentioned that we promote these programs through Dojo. We send reminders weekly through the Dojo platform, but also we make phone calls as well. Every week we teach a reading strategy, and parents are to apply this strategy when they borrow the books. We never finish the stories. We always read the stories halfway, and then they have to finish the stories at home and apply that strategy that we're implementing that week. Who participates in the Latino literacy program? Latino families, because that's where this program is addressed toward the families that speak Spanish as well. So we make flyers, we make all kind of like promotions for the families to be aware of the programs that we do after school, and this is one of the most successful programs that we have so far. As you can see, we have parents that come and read with them, and this is a family that these families are always so eager to come and be present and share these moments with their kids. As you can see, we have here another father. And so the reading in English is also allowed. The EL teacher reads this aloud with the parents and the students. And as I said, from time to time, the EL teacher might ask, what do you think this word means? What do you notice? Is it difficult to say it, to pronounce it? Let's see why it's difficult. And so we always model how to implement the reading strategies for them so they can go home and feel relaxed and do it in a more natural way. Let's see if I'm missing something else. Parents always ask questions about other programs that we have in the school besides this one. So it's a way for them to get more information and to learn about not only the Latino literacy program, but also about other programs. We give them the book, we give them a folder with the handouts and the book, and that folder goes home, and they can finish reading that book at home, and then the following week, they can bring that book back, and we exchange pretty much the books. So at the end of the session, we always do like raffles for them to, bring something at home. Most of the time is like cakes, the tres leches cake, or sometimes there are gift certificates from Walmart and other partnerships that we have with businesses that have partnerships with our school. Something important about this is that the principal was telling me that there is an increase in the reading. It's about 0.5, and so it shows the growth that the students are having because they are participating in this reading program. Sometimes the principal comes and checks with them, talks to them informally. So it's a moment for them to, get to know the principal and ask any questions or anything that they wanted to, ask or maybe know, or just to share an idea with the principal. So it's a very good moment. It's a very valuable, because we give them the power of having a voice and learning at the same time and spending quality with their kids. I don't know if you have any questions or
kind of put in the chat. They wanted to know the book. So it's, Literacy Project. Is there another? I feel like there's another set of books that you've all used.
Yes, we use the lectura books. Maybe Carolina.
Yes, if you go, you just Google Lectura books.
Curious, like in the chat, I'm putting like links and stuff in the back.
If you Google Lectura books, yes, those, they have a package for the first semester. Actually, their programming is for 10 weeks. We tried 10 weeks, but it was a little longer, so we shorted in 6 weeks. And we have first semester family, this is for elementary, family literacy program for elementary, and we divide it in 2 semesters. But also they have books for like the Gabriela Dreams for middle and high school programming. And they have books for pre-K too. And here, Edith have more pictures about her program. Oh, yes. No? Here, the principal, she's in the back, but she was visiting the program, and that's a way to make connections with their families, and they feel comfortable. I think one of the things that we learned in the duo with Dr. Mapp, it's how to be culturally responsive and also connect with the families, and this is a good way to connect with families. And we always, as a Latino, we like to celebrate. So we celebrate all the time with them in the end of the program. And here is a little of how is Edith program.
And the company then too.
Every night they lock the gates to Simon's
Every night they lock the gates, Simons,
to keep us safe.
to keep us safe.
I guess it's so no strangers can get in. It's so no strangers can get in. Like the boogeyman. Like the boogeyman.
I don't know if you want to talk about a little bit about this.
These are the guiding questions, and I didn't create them. They come with the teacher's edition, and so you just make copies, and in the PowerPoint you can choose one strategy to do that week, and you focus on that before reading what to do. In the meantime, they are reading what to do, and after reading what to do, or what questions they can ask. And we always model how to do it. So, like, for example, if they are looking at the cover, we say, okay, ¿qué es esto? What is this? What do you see? What do you think is going to be about? What does the title means? And things like that. So they are very familiar with this structure. It doesn't take that longer for them to get used to that. So on the second part of the school year, when you do it, they are completely familiar with this structure, so it's better. It runs smoothly. And then we have the after reading, what questions they can ask. We suggest what things to do when they're at home, like find a quiet place to read, turn off the TV, the phone, or other devices that they have. Begin by looking at the cover, read the author's name, the illustrator's name. Maybe they are Hispanics. Some of the writers are Hispanics. Pronounce each word correctly, track the words with your finger, talk about the illustrators and what this means to them. Ask your child questions, ask about individual meanings of the words. Allow your child to ask questions while they are reading on what they see or what the words mean. Retell the central idea of the story. That is usually the most difficult aspect for them, but you had to model that. If your child refuses to read, we always advise them not to force them. This is a time in which you had to be flexible, and they had to be calm and serene, and find that special moment for them to read, and never ever to use this moment as a punishment time, because that is not the purpose. And then follow the schedule, read at the same time. If they do it at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or before they go to bed, use that structure all the time, not to change the structure. And Carolina can talk about that.
So just ending the program, we do surveys, and what do families say about Fayette County Public School Latino Literacy Program? They say this is a program, it's more than a reading program. It allowed us to share our traditions and cultures. If you see those books, they talk about cultures, they talk about their tradition, how they come from a different country and how they adapted to this new country. So the families are connecting there with their traditions. Another says, I learned the importance of being involved in our children's education. And that's a great thing, because in our culture, we are not involved in children's education. Our parents work and the schools are in charge of the education. And here in this country, we have to be involved. And we encourage, you are the first teacher at home. So this is a way you to learn to be involved in your children's education. And this program taught me how to set aside time to read with my daughter and assist her with reading at home. How Edith says, they set a time for reading mostly at night. And I learned to dedicate more time to my kids to read and do their homework. So those are powerful feedbacks from our families. And
And I'm going to put it in the chat too if you're like a virtual person. Carolina and Edith have just a number of the like flyers that you saw in here and that kind of thing. We put them in a Google Drive so you all can access it for just an example. So that way, yeah, you can take a look.
so you could see, yes.
Contact information is going to be up here in just a minute so you can get in touch with us. But yeah, just as a way for you all to see like some of the things that they're doing.
Yes, you could get some materials from the QR code. And if you have some questions, feedback.
Something else that I want to say is that be persistent. Always invite the parents to come to your school. If this is a great way to do it, but you can be creative because we need to close that gap between the household and the school. It is so important. And you're going to see how generous the families are and how happy they are when they come to school. And building that, sense of trust is crucial. It is so important. Like lately, we noticed the attendance, it's been kind of low, but you have to understand the situation of the country. But never stop. Keep going, because that's what I'm planning to do. I'm going to keep going, inviting them to come to the school and feel happy and content, because we want our families to feel happy and content all the time.
And we also start doing those family literacy through Zoom. So parents, we could help parents where they are. So that's one of the new things that we have. So if you could give us some feedbacks, this is, you could do it with the QR code that will take you to our Fayette County Public School feedback. So I will appreciate that. Okay. So don't worry about it. Okay.
Something that I'm planning to do is offer this through Zoom as well, because I have two families that wanted to do it, but I'm going to ask the technology person to help me with that. So.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And here are how will you connect with Allison and myself. But thank you so much for staying.